This is, again, the easiest, most simple methods that I have come up with. The way that I breed a mono shrimp, I've been doing it now for a long time. I've bred generation after generation of a mono shrimp, and I even include, you'll see one down here, those are brine shrimp. I've got a couple brine shrimp in there with my baby Amano shrimp larva. Now let's get back over to this giant 55-gallon Amano shrimp tank. I've put some food here, kind of clamped down with a plant weight just so that they don't steal it and run off. But some adult females that, as you can tell, are full of eggs. Let me get you a little closer. And that's going to be the most common time that people come across a mono shrimp breeding. Is you're not necessarily trying to breed a mono shrimp. It's that your Amano shrimp are in your community tank or in an aquascape, and you notice one day that one of your females is just full of eggs. That female's got hundreds of eggs. And so what do you do from that point? Well, for most people, they're going to go to YouTube and type in how to breed a mono shrimp. They're going to come up with a 3-year-old tutorial video at this point that's very complicated. It's titled, of course, 2025 Easy Method, but it's not easy. It's very complicated, and it's not from 2025. It's 3 years old. So I figured I would go ahead and do a 2025 relevant how to breed a mono shrimp tutorial video for y'all and show you the methods that I use that I have so much success with breeding these mono shrimp. You can see this female mono shrimp has a ton of eggs. She's fanning them under her tail. When you notice that your female mono shrimp has just a ton of eggs underneath her, you want to separate her, especially if she's in a tank like you saw a fish just swim up here. Those fish will eat all of your baby Amano shrimp. Now she's gonna release the babies into the water column, and they look and act kind of like brine shrimp. So that part of the process is automatic. The first half of Amano shrimp breeding, the actual mating of the shrimp, the entire pregnancy of the female, all the way to her giving the closest thing I guess a shrimp can do to live birth is just release the babies into the water column. All of that happens automatically. There's nothing that you need to do in particular to induce that process. Now, like I said, most people will come across an Amano shrimp that's just full of eggs like this, and the first thing they want to know is, well, what can I do? How can I raise these babies? And the biggest misconception in Amano shrimp breeding, and I don't think there's really enough people that are actually breeding Amano shrimp that are correcting this misconception. So you don't want to use brackish water. Now, what do I use? I use Instant Ocean aquarium salt, and I use this because it's the most common aquarium salt you'll come across. I just mix it to the instructions on the bag. It's very simple. It's very easy to do, and I have zero problems doing that. Now, there's some people out there that most of them don't even breed a mono shrimp or raise a mono shrimp larva. They're just from Reddit, and they've read where someone said that it's complicated or someone said that you need brackish water. But I'm here to tell you that the best success that I've had in the method that I used uses full salt water mixed to the instructions on the bag of the Instant Ocean. You're going to mix your salt water up. You're going to get a good aquarium light. If you just put a desk lamp on here, I don't believe you'll have as much success as I do. These are Fluval aquarium plant lights, but you want to turn that sucker all the way up and just leave it on 24 hours a day. And then I put the baby shrimp in there. That's it. Now, the other tutorial that's out there is going to tell you that you need phytoplankton and that you need rotifers to eat the phytoplankton, and then you need to culture phytoplankton and rotifers and all this other stuff. I don't do any of that. I use my own powdered mix of food that's a very, very fine powder, like a microscopic powder, to feed my Amano shrimp larva, and I do that with a paintbrush, a makeup brush. I just tap the food in. It's very, very simple. But I do not use phytoplankton. It's very complicated to use. But what I would suggest is if you have any kind of algae from your freshwater aquarium, no matter what kind of algae it is, just drop a little in here. If you do have access to phytoplankton or even freshwater green water like chlorella, put a little bit in there. And with that light on 24 hours a day, eventually you're going to start to get like a powdery algae covering the surfaces. I do clean off the front glass on these every once in a while, but that's it. The shrimp are in there. I feed them once a day. I tap a little bit of the powdered food in there. It doesn't get any easier than that. I mean, you can overcomplicate it if you want, but you really don't have to.